on the floor.
She is barely conscious and in agonizing pain.
What's disturbing is that she's burnt. Her hair is completely burnt off, and her clothes are completely charred off of her body. The son is baffled of what happened. It was just kind of a bizarre, surreal scene for that poor kid. At that moment, the paramedics burst onto the scene because someone called 911. But the son didn't call 911, and it's really a complete mystery who did it. They assess her, but she cannot speak at this point, doesn't really react to anything they say. They whisk her to the hospital.
Olga is immediately admitted to the ICU where doctors furiously work to save her life.
But she's got about 95% total body surface burns all over. They felt she had no chance of making it. And they were right. About 11 hours later, she died. Clearly, families do not have time to prepare for these sudden, kind of unexpected death, whether it be natural or this horrific kind of death. And I think they're in shock. Like, how could this happen?
Olga's body is transported to the District 9 morgue, and police immediately launch a full-scale investigation.
Just out of the gate, this is a bizarre case. Is this a homicide? What really is going on? It's very rare to get somebody murdered by setting them on fire. This is like literally setting someone on fire, torching them on purpose. That's unusual.
As investigators examine Olga's home, a gruesome scenario begins to emerge.
Detectives, they are baffled because they see pieces of burnt skin on the ground and even drops of blood, but really nothing that looks like she burned or caught on fire in that bedroom. So then they follow the trail of blood and burnt skin, and it goes back out to the garage, right to the driver's side of the car. And there's drops of blood and charred material on the driver's seat and on the steering wheel. There's nothing else in the car burnt, so she must have been burned somewhere else. But where'd she get burned?
Police conduct a thorough search of the neighborhood, and it's not long before they strike gold.
The crime scene investigators were able to find a field where there's a patch of dirt that was burnt, and a burnt cigarette lighter was found, and blood and skin that had fallen off. So she clearly was burnt about half a mile away from the house. It's bizarre to think that she then got into the car and drove. You wonder if she was trying to escape from someone, and he ran off and she still had her car.
With few clues to go on, detectives turn to Olga's 20-year-old son, Victor, in hopes of learning anything they possibly can about what happened.
Now, the son says they immigrated here from Bulgaria. She owns a clothing store, but it started going under. She's been very upset because her fiance didn't have a steady job, and she was very anxious about their financial situation.
Apparently, on the day of her death, the tension between the couple reaches a boiling point.
According to the son, they were arguing a lot, and they left together in the car, still arguing. He didn't really hear her come back, and the next thing he knows, he hears her moaning in the bedroom while paramedics are knocking on the door. Immediately, they're suspecting, guess who? The fiance. Keep in mind that 30% of the women that are murdered are killed by an intimate partner. It's certainly not uncommon here in the morgue to see that.
Police are determined to track down Olga's fiancé, Boris Ivanov, but there's one problem.
At this point, nobody knows where he is. They're trying to find him, but he appears to have disappeared. And they're worried he may have gone back to Bulgaria.
In the meantime, it's up to Dr. G and her team to help get to the bottom of this horrific death and find justice for Olga.
So I'll see what the body tells me, but we're going to treat it like a homicide until proven otherwise.
What's the beat that moves your heart? How about the beat of a healthy heart? Campbell's Healthy Request Soup is